Mass incarceration, a term that's been at the forefront of activist movements and anti-police rhetoric for years. You've heard it, you've read it, and you may have even repeated it. But what if I told you that the very concept of mass incarceration is misleading? What if it's part of a much larger narrative designed to discredit our criminal justice system, particularly the police? Stick around, because today we're breaking down the myths and revealing the unreported truths. Hey everyone, I'm Roland Klee, and welcome to the inaugural video for American Peace Officer. And today we're diving into a huge topic, the idea of mass incarceration in the United States. If you've done a quick search on Google or YouTube, you've likely seen the same story over and over, that the US imprisons more of its citizens than any other country in the world. And it disproportionately affects marginalized communities. It's a catchy message and it's been extremely effective, but how accurate is it? The media loves to push this narrative. Vox, The Atlantic, Al Jazeera, and taxpayer-funded outlets like NPR paint the picture of a system that's broken beyond repair, where criminals are victims and the system is built to destroy communities. But here's something you probably haven't heard. In 2019, the US imprisonment rate dropped to its lowest level in 24 years. That's right, according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, the imprisonment rate decreased by 3% from the previous year, from 2018. And since 2019, the overall imprisonment rate has dropped by 17%. For Black Americans, it was the lowest rate in 30 years. But where are the headlines celebrating that? Who's launching a parade to proclaim that? Now, if you were paying attention, you'd notice that prison populations weren't exploding out of control as the activists claim. In fact, the narrative about mass incarceration focuses on some pretty outdated information. The data doesn't lie. Let's talk about another myth. Activists like to claim that prisons are full of people serving time for petty crimes like simple drug possession. But the reality, about 46% of federal prisoners are in for drug offenses. But here's the key, 99% of those are for drug trafficking, not simple possession. The problem is the narrative around mass incarceration isn't just inaccurate, it's harmful. It's misleading generations of young people to believe that law enforcement is the enemy and that our criminal justice system is inherently unjust. This has real-world consequences, like the challenges police departments face in recruiting college students who've been taught to see cops as oppressors. Of course, there are always issues to fix. We know that no system is perfect. But here's something most activists won't talk about. Prison isn't the problem. Crime is. Heather MacDonald, a fellow with the Manhattan Institute, testified before the Senate in 2015. She said it best. It's crime, not incarceration, that squelches freedom and enterprise in urban areas. And she's right. The costs of unchecked crime are astronomical, far greater than the cost of incarceration. Incarceration, she says, is actually a bargain when you consider the economic, social, and psychological toll that crime takes on the community. Activists love to compare the US to countries like those in Western Europe, where incarceration rates are lower. But they conveniently leave out the fact that our violent crime rate is 5 to 7 times higher than those countries. Should we really be taking crime stats from countries like Pakistan, Russia, or Venezuela at face value? Now, I'm not saying that everything in the US is perfect. We've got our challenges. but we need to be real about where the real problems lie. Our justice system, particularly proactive policing, has saved countless lives, especially in communities of color. We've seen it with crime drops in cities like New York, and we need leaders willing to stand up and speak the truth about it. The truth is, law enforcement needs more support, not more attacks. Crime is the real oppressor, not officers trying to protect communities. And if we're serious about making things better, we need to stop feeding into lies about mass incarceration and start focusing on real solutions. So let's talk about the facts, not the fiction. The next time someone brings up mass incarceration, ask them this: why haven't you heard about the decline in imprisonment rates? Why do we only hear the negative but never the success stories? It's time to start looking at the whole picture. Thank you so much for watching this inaugural broadcast of the American Peace Officer on Substack. Make sure to like and subscribe, and please share it with somebody who might need to hear the truth. And as always, stay safe and keep our officers in your prayers. See you next time.